Hi, this is Sally's Book Talk, bringing you the best global books every day. Today we'll explore the book, Suggestions for Teachers. How do we develop children's intelligence? How can we make children study effectively? How do we help children with learning difficulties? As a teacher or parent, you must care deeply about these questions. The book we're introducing today holds the answers you need. Though written for teachers, this educational holy grail equally benefits parents. Authored by Soviet educator Sukhomlinsky. Let's call him Mr. Su for simplicity. We'll use the teens-friendly Mr. Su throughout this discussion. A school principal with 30-plus years experience, Mr. Su started teaching at age 17. He produced 40-plus books, 100-plus papers, and 1,200-plus stories documenting educational practices. His works are considered educational encyclopedias, earning him master educator status. This book remains his most celebrated work. Required reading for Chinese teaching students. With 1 M+ copies sold in China, it consistently ranks among top 10 education books. We'll examine 3 key questions to understand this book's essence. First, why is Mr. Su considered the Brad Pitt of education? Second, what are Mr. Su's 3 golden teaching strategies? Third, how does Mr. Su help struggling students improve? Let's start with why Mr. Su's works are mandatory for Chinese teaching students. Mr. Su's educational idol status stems from 4 golden principles. First principle, student-centered approach. The foundation of all his work. He begins by telling teachers, remember, there's no abstract student. What does abstract student mean? In schools, varying academic performance among students is completely normal. Teachers might consider this routine. Mr. Su believed this stems from teachers' lack of individualized attention. He gave an example. Asking 7-year-olds to carry water. Some manage 5 buckets, while others handle 20. Forcing weaker children to match 20 buckets would physically harm them. They might end up hospitalized and unable to function the next day. Learning works the same way. Children's comprehension varies. Applying uniform standards treats them like assembly line products, not living beings. Academic success is relative. 100% marks success for some, while 60% deserve celebration for others. Teachers must identify each student's potential and help them enjoy intellectual achievements. Only when every child experiences success can classrooms avoid teacher burnout. Confucius advocated individualized teaching, adapting methods to different students. As Tao Xingji said, your ruler might measure a watt. Your cold gaze hides a Newton. Your mockery contains an Edison. This perfectly explains Mr. Su's student-centered philosophy. Teachers should view children appreciatively. Any could be future Edisons, Newtons, or Watts. Using standardized test metrics strips children's individuality, making them exam victims. Guided by human-centered education, Mr. Su repeatedly advised teachers to always care for children. Teachers handle fragile young minds. Mr. Su's second golden rule. Every child enters school wanting to learn well.
This desire burns like a small flame illuminating a child's emotional world, yet can easily be extinguished by harsh teacher attitudes. A child struggles with homework, working hard, but seeing no results.
Teachers must protect the child's self-esteem, helping them see progress and believe in their own diligence.
Many teachers lose patience when facing children with slow progress.
In our efficiency-obsessed society, we expect instant results. Education is no exception. Mr. Su advises adopting long-term perspectives. His third golden rule for education: seeds planted today won't sprout tomorrow. Educational efforts might take years to manifest. Human potential is limitless. That aha moment comes from accumulated mental growth. Teachers must nurture it patiently. Growing saplings into towering trees takes decades. Though written for teachers, these principles equally apply to parents. Mr. Su's fourth golden rule: family education must align with school education. Parents are children's first teachers, planting seeds of character. Children absorb knowledge voraciously between ages 2 to 7. This foundational knowledge becomes deeply rooted. A child's curiosity and thinking patterns depend on their early environment. Healthy environments foster mental development.
Poor environments hinder cognitive growth.
This view aligns with Montessori's concept of childhood development. A child's inner vitality drives them to absorb environmental stimuli, shaping their mental world. Adults need only provide suitable environments. How can parents create optimal environments? Mr. Su established parent academies to teach child development principles and practical parenting skills. First, maintain and expand a family library, accessible to both children and parents. These books should be actively used by all family members.
Second, parents must recognize their qualities, both good and bad, influence children subconsciously.
Parents should lead by example through conscious self-improvement. Third, teach household chores early, showing labor as joyful responsibility, not just obligation.
Children only enjoying others' labor become tyrannical adults.
Fourth, develop children's observation skills and intellectual curiosity through guided world exploration. Consciously nurture thinking and language skills during this process. Mr. Su compiled recommended readings and storytelling guides for families. Recommended books include nature, studies, geography, history texts, and works by Shakespeare, Goethe, Pushkin, Hugo, Dante. Parents should first master these texts before shared reading sessions. Parent education should begin before school enrollment and continue through high school graduation. Mr. Su considered parent education fundamental to school success. That concludes our first discussion point. Why is Mr. Su considered an education icon? Summary: treat children as unique individuals requiring teaching approaches. Protect each child's emotional vulnerability. Believe in cumulative growth. Let children experience learning joy and success.
Family education must align with school education. Without this foundation, school education becomes a house of cards.
Now, let's explore Mr. Su's 3 winning teaching strategies. Mr. Su strongly opposed rote memorization, advocating instead for observational thinking and knowledge application. Knowledge application means using existing knowledge to acquire new understanding. Experienced teachers intentionally leave gaps to spark students' curiosity and independent problem solving. Knowledge forms interconnected networks with relationships and causality. Teachers should identify connection points to stimulate inquiry. Take photosynthesis. Focus on how leaves transform inorganic matter. The key connection is inorganic to organic conversion. Instead of directly teaching chlorophyll, show a tomato plant growing under sunlight to spark wonder. What's in soil that makes plants grow? Students know plants absorb inorganic matter, but what converts it to organic? What role does sunlight play? Teachers guide students to find answers using existing knowledge through strategic questioning. This is Mr. Su's knowledge. Application, methodology. Through research, Mr. Su identified 3 most effective methods: reading, nature observation, and practical work. First, strategy, emphasizing reading, extensively discussed in his 100 teaching principles. He believed children should master automated reading with critical thinking during elementary school. This foundation ensures smooth learning through middle and high school. What does automated reading mean? It means instantly grasping sentence, meaning through eyes and brain, while reading. True reading mastery means retelling content fluently and visualizing concepts after closing the book. 3 decades of teaching convinced Mr. Su that intellectual growth depends on reading proficiency. Students who think, while reading, handle academic challenges more effectively. He proposed 2 training methods. First, expressive reading practice. Minimum 300 hours during elementary years. Second, reading while analyzing matching illustrations. Accurately describing picture details after reading indicates strong comprehension. This method especially benefits struggling readers.
Weak readers focus solely on word recognition, stumbling through complex sentences. They miss actual content understanding.
Picture books combine text and visuals, ideal for reading training. These methods make word recognition automatic, removing reading barriers. My middle school teacher assessed Chinese ability through cold reading of unfamiliar text. Fluid expressive reading indicated strong language mastery. Turns out, my teacher followed Mr. Su's methods. Trained readers quickly identify key vocabulary and sentence structures while processing meaning. Their reading becomes rhythmically expressive with emotional nuance. Beyond reading skills, Mr. Su emphasized intellectual background reading. What is intellectual background? It means connecting reading with coursework. Extensive pre-reading before challenging subjects like physics, chemistry. Mr. Su created concept. Linked books. More engaging for difficult subjects. Before teaching equations, students read captivating stories about equation origins and folk wisdom. These books blend education with entertainment. Modern equivalents exist. Books integrating math principles with art, science to foster creativity. After reading, students generate numerous questions in class. More questions indicate stronger intellectual curiosity. Active questioning leads to deeper knowledge acquisition. Mr. Su's ultimate goal. How to develop independent thinking. Second strategy. Nature-based thinking lessons. Rejecting rote learning. Mr. Su taught observation skills to discover hidden connections. Children explored fields, orchards, riversides to observe nature's interconnections verbally. These outdoor sessions were called thinking lessons. Let's see how Mr. Su conducted nature-based thinking lessons. In freezing February, children search for spring's arrival signs in snowy orchards. Early autumn lessons explain how trees, seeds, animals prepare for winter. At cliff edges, children compare soil, layers, colors, and textures in exposed profiles. Mr. Su encouraged verbalizing observations and discovering subtle environmental differences. Revealing soil's invisible microbial life required creative demonstrations. Corn roots like grandfather's beard grow 2 meters underground. A dried grape root surprisingly sprouted new buds when planted. This demonstrates soil's living components. Mr. Su used vivid vocabulary to open windows to nature's wonders. Vocabulary forms the core of nature thinking lessons. Children perceive the world through words. Wonder sparks. Verbal expression. Intense mental activity occurs when articulating natural beauty. Vocabulary becomes their cognitive toolkit. Words, bridge, concrete perception, and abstract reasoning. Young minds first grasp objects through senses before abstract concepts. When children observe something, teachers, parents should provide precise vocabulary to connect concrete objects with abstract concepts. Repeated connections develop analytical and logical thinking abilities. Nature-based lessons demand teachers with rich vocabularies for accurate descriptions. Don't just point at the sky. Explain it through child-friendly analogies. How would you explain sky to a child? Dictionary definitions like vast space above ground remain too abstract for children. Scholar Feng Long's analogy, Earth's atmosphere, is like orange peel protecting the fruit. This atmospheric peel becomes our visible sky. Mr. Su's teaching principle. Teachers need 10 buckets of knowledge to give 1 drop. He studied botany, ornithology, and astronomy to prepare nature lessons. Daily dawn observations helped him develop precise descriptive language. Teachers should create concept dictionaries with nature-based explanations. Linking natural phenomena to abstract concepts drives cognitive development. Beyond nature lessons. Practical work forms the third educational pillar. Third strategy. Hands-on projects like planting trees or building models. Educational labor means active creation, not just theoretical learning. These activities develop both manual skills and cognitive abilities. Through doing, children understand abstract concepts concretely. Such hands-on activities optimally develop children's thinking and language skills. Nature's miracles like budding trees and growing animals spark intellectual wonder. Aristotle noted that wonder initiates thinking. driving children to seek knowledge. Vocabulary becomes their expressive toolkit when sharing discoveries. Engaged children naturally uncover relationships between concepts through doing. Practical work cultivates both intelligence and communication abilities. That concludes Mr. Su's 3 core teaching strategies. Summary 1. Build reading skills through engaging pre-learning materials. Summary 2. Nature. Observation develops causal reasoning through precise vocabulary. Summary 3. Hansen projects integrate thinking with language development. Now, to our final question. How does Mr. Su help students needing extra support?
Mr. Su rejected good, bad labels, recognizing different learning paces.
He termed them students needing extra time, those requiring 5 X longer to grasp concepts.
These students often forget material overnight despite repetition. Familiar struggles, endless tutoring yet remaining academically behind. Traditional labeling as weak students causes psychological harm. The problem student tag creates lasting emotional scars. They face teacher neglect, peer contempt, and parental blame both at school and home.
How should educators and parents support these students?
Mr. Su acknowledged teaching these students is challenging. They struggle with constant forgetting and personal frustration.
Yet across 33 years, he never gave up on 100 plus such students. He investigated 2,000 plus families to identify root causes of academic struggles. 3 key factors emerged from his research. 1. Toxic family environments with frequent conflicts.
Poor early environments stunt psychological development with worsening impacts over time. Cognitive delays become more pronounced as children mature.
2. Impoverished family intellectual lives.
Parents of struggling students typically use only 200-300 basic vocabulary words. These children lack wonder, humor, and joyful expression in daily life.
Laughter provides crucial cognitive development through emotional energy. Joyful learning surpasses any teaching methodology in effectiveness.
3. Insufficient maternal education during early childhood.
Mr. Su studied thousands of mother-child intellectual development relationships.
Children lacking maternal warmth and guided discovery show significant cognitive differences.
Mothers play pivotal roles in psychological and intellectual development. Why is this significant? The mother-child bond forms most crucially in infancy and early childhood. This connection begins prenatally through biological synchronization. Thus, Mr. Su advocated establishing maternal pedagogy within educational theory.
He opposed using standard methods for struggling learners to prevent lifelong inferiority complexes. The torment of persistent failure.
French philosopher Helvetius noted, proper education can make ordinary children extraordinary. How did Mr. Su assist struggling students?
Take Thay Jaya, a boy struggling with math word problems. Vijaya couldn't retain problem conditions sequentially. Reading subsequent conditions erased previous ones from his memory.
Conventional teachers would limit him to textbook drills. Mr. Su rejected this restrictive approach. Struggling students need more reading, like low-sensitivity film needing longer exposure. Academic improvement comes through sustained intellectual illumination, not through extra drills or tutoring sessions. The solution: read, read, read endlessly. Mr. Su created 100 books for Fei Jaya from 3rd to 7th grade, later expanding to 200. By 5th grade, Fei Jaya caught up academically. Subsequent challenges were overcome through continued reading. Mr. Su never prescribed remedial classes for such students. He taught Fei, Jaya, and others to read and think critically. Reading stimulates cognitive awakening and mental engagement. Mr. Su created special riddle-based problems for students, like Fei. These narrative-driven puzzles required logical thinking rather than calculations. They served as excellent intellectual training tools. What are riddle-based problems? Example: transporting wolf, goat, cabbage across a river with specific constraints. Children enthusiastically strategized to prevent wolf eating goat, etc. Even unsuccessful attempts develop critical thinking skills. Mr. Su collected 200 plus such stories for cognitive development through reading. Nature lessons and practical work also aid struggling learners. These methods are as vital as air for cognitive development. All methods focus on nurturing curiosity and thinking patterns. Does this guarantee immediate academic improvement? Mr. Su warned. Progress may only appear after 101 lessons. Patience is crucial. Summary: the third problem-solving approach explained. Final strategy: reading plus nature lessons plus special math problems plus teacher perseverance. With that, we've covered the core content of Suggestions for Teachers. Recalling our first question, how did Mr. Su achieve his iconic status in education? Through 3 decades of child-first education, Mr. Su implemented personalized teaching with compassion and persistence. His 3 core strategies: reading, nature observation, and practical work develop critical thinking and learning passion. We examine concrete cases of helping students needing extra support through cognitive development methods. Mr. Su's approach combines diagnostic analysis, reading therapy, and unwavering teacher commitment. Though a rural Soviet school principal, his methods remain educational gospel worldwide. This book remains essential reading for teachers, testifying to his enduring legacy. His educational principles maintain profound relevance in modern pedagogy. Educators and parents should adapt his methods, promote reading, nature exploration, and patient guidance. This concludes our exploration of Suggestions for Teachers. Find keynotes below. Until tomorrow.